my name is Mars. You can call me May or MG if you'd like, and in today's video I'm going to be talking all about my new TBR game. I have played 2 rounds of this already, and the week after this video goes up I'll be playing it for the 3rd time. I just figured I would make a comprehensive guide to this game that I've created because people were a little bit confused when I brought it out and I didn't really explain it well in that video, but we're gonna explain it all here, gonna learn what all of the different prompts are and everything. It's gonna be a fun time. Before that though, I would like to explain this in the corner here. That is a guitar covered with a bed sheet in order to keep the cats from getting at it because they like to chew on the strings a little bit. Naturally, the bed sheet is there to keep the cats out, and so Chloe has gotten into it, and she's currently napping all nestled down in the bottom there. So if you see it shifting around, it's just her. It's fine. We're gonna just ignore it for now. So basically, the TBR game that I have come up with and implemented this year is based on this deck of cards. This is the Adventurers Tarot Empress deck created by Weirdworks. I will leave a link to their website down below. Chloe has emerged, so she's probably gonna come into my lap now. We carry on. So there are 103 cards, and I have created a prompt for all of the cards, and basically what I do is every month I roll a 4-sided die and use that to determine how many pulls I pick each month. I can get anywhere from 3 to 7 because if I roll a 1 or a 2 on the first roll, then I have to roll again and add. If I get a 1 on the second roll, I have to roll again and add again, and then the third roll is just my last roll no matter what. So anywhere from 3 to 7 pulls each month, and that's the number of cards I pull. So hopefully that made sense, and now we are going to get into the explanation of the prompts. So the way this deck works is it was inspired by D&D, and there are cards that come in pairs and cards that come in sets of 4, and also one set of 6, but it's very similar to the set of 4, it's just a special case. And so what I've done is for the cards that come in pairs, there are 2 prompts that if I pull that card, I get to decide between the 2 of them, and if I pull the matching one later on in the same month, then I have to use the other prompt. That way it's not the same prompt twice. And the ones that are in sets of 4, or in the one case a set of 6, there's a theme for the whole set of prompts. So without further ado, let's get to the explanations. So first up we have the Bard, and that's what the 2 cards look like. And the prompts for this are the first book in a series or a new to me author. Then we have the Ranger, which is, this one's probably one of my favorite cards in the deck. I just think it's really pretty. The prompts are a standalone or an author's debut. Next up we have the Monk. I'm sure you can sense a theme where we're starting off with all of the D&D classes as the cards. And the prompts for Monk are a book that's part of a duology or a book that is part of a series, but I don't own the rest of the series. It's just, I only own the one book in that series. How many times am I going to say series in this video? Probably a lot. But after that, we have the Fighter. And the prompts for this card are a military fantasy or a book that has a very large fan base or fandom. Next we have the Cleric, which if you didn't know, the Cleric is my go-to class when I play D&D, and the prompts for this are kind of the opposite of the prompts for the Bard. So the prompts for the Cleric are the last book in a series or an author that I have read from before. And then we have the Rogue, and these prompts are a book that's out of my comfort zone or a genre that I don't usually reach for. They're kind of the same prompt, but they're a little bit different, so it's fine. Next up we have the Barbarian, and these prompts are a book that is tall or heavy or a book with a weapon on the cover. Pretty applicable to the Bard, I think. Then we have the Druid. Also love these cards. I love basically every card in this deck. But some of them are just so beautiful, and I really like the Druid cards. These prompts are politics as a main theme in the book, or a book that has been translated. Then we come to the Wizard, and the prompts for this one are a nonfiction or a craft book. And I understand that a craft book is kind of like a subset of nonfiction, but it's fine. It's my game, my prompts, we're gonna roll with it. Then we come to the Paladin, which the prompts for this one are a book club pick or a book for a readathon. Then we have the Warlock. I can pick it up. There we go. And this is either a book that I was supposed to read in school or a book that has been personally recommended to me by others. So I can't just pull up someone's like books I'd recommend everyone to read video and go off of that. It has to be someone who said, hey, you specifically I think would like this book. Then we have the Sorcerer, which is the last of the main class cards. And for this one, I either have to pick a book from my 23 in 2023 list or my 30 by 30 list. Up next, we have that set of 6 that I was talking about, and that is the Adversary, so it's just like a general enemy card. And for this one, I just went with the theme of intimidating books. So if I pull just the regular Adversary card, then that is a book that is intimidating for any reason I want, mostly because I couldn't think of more than 5 reasons for something to be intimidating, so I just thought I'd be a little easy on myself. If I pull the 2 of Adversaries, it is a book that is intimidating because of the age or like language in the book. 3 is intimidating because of the content. 4 is intimidating because of personal anticipation. 5 of Adversaries is intimidating because of the public hype. And 6, I have to pick a book that is intimidating because of the size. After that, we get into a few more cards that are pairs. And so we start off with the Mystic. And the prompts for the Mystic are a comic book or a manga. I would also probably fit graphic novel in here. I just didn't because I was only listing 2 things, so it's fine. And then we have the Blood Hunter. Ooh, I picked up an extra card. The Blood Hunter, also one of my favorite card designs in the deck. I think this is stunning. And the prompts are the latest purchase or a book that I bought because of the cover. Then the one you got a little sneak peek of is the Artificer, and this is a book that's either magical realism or a steampunk book. And then we have the Ally. This is either a book written by an author tuber or a self-pubbed book. The next pair of cards is the Companion, and the 2 prompts for the Companion are a friend's favorite or a friend's choice, so kind of similar. You would think that a friend would choose one of their favorites, but they are 2 different prompts. Then the last of these pairs is the Familiar, and these prompts are either an animal companion or a pet pick, and I'm dreading when these come up because as much fun as a pet pick sounds, I have no idea how it would work with my cats. They are a little bit unpredictable, but after that we get into the regular sets of 4. So the first one is the Beast, and the theme for this is kind of like loosely retellings-ish, and then the last one is kind of a little bit of an oddball. But if I pull just the Beast card, that is a fairy tale retelling. The 2 of Beasts is a mythology-inspired book. The 3 of Beasts is a retelling of a classic, and then the oddball one, the 4 of Beasts, is an anthology or short story collection. I thought it kind of sort of fit the theme, but it doesn't really. We're just gonna leave it though. After that, we have the Dragon, because of course if it's a Dungeons & Dragons inspired deck, there's going to be a dragon card. So if I pull the regular dragon card, then that is the shortest book that I physically own. If I pull the 2, it would be the longest book that I physically own. If I pull the 3 of Dragons, it is the shortest book in height that I physically own, so just like a generally squat book. If I pull the 4 of Dragons, that is the tallest book that I physically own, so it's kind of like about dimensions. Then we come to the Undead, which this is another set that I kind of have a hard time defining why I put these prompts together, but like I think they go together. So if I pull the Undead card, that is a book I thought about unhauling. If I pull the 2 of Undead, it's a book that I bought secondhand. If I pull the 3 of Undead, it's a book that I got for free. If I pulled the 4, it's a book that I've held on to for too long. This one's probably one of my favorite of the deck as well. I just love the pastel colors so much. The next set is the Ooze cards, which I love oozes in the game. They're some of my favorite enemies. And the theme for this is colors. So if I pull the regular Ooze card, it is a blue or purple cover. They don't correlate specifically to the colors used on the card. This is just how I split it up. So the Ooze is blue or purple. The 2 of Oozes is a yellow or green cover. The 3 of Oozes is a black or white cover. And the 4 of Oozes is a red or orange cover. Then we come to the Aberration, which I have loosely set as like sci-fi kind of books, like science-y type things for these. So if I pull the Aberration card, this is a book set in the future. The 2 of Aberrations is just generically sci-fi. The 3 of Aberrations, I have to pick a dystopian book. And the 4 of Aberrations is a dark academia, which only loosely fits the theme, but it works. And then we have the Plant, which I think is just a hilarious card to have. It's also a very cute one. I like this little mushroom dude. But if I pull the Plant card, this is a book that is set in or by an author from South America. If I pull the 2 of Plants, then I have to pick a book that is set in or by an author from Europe or Australia. The 3 of Plants is a book set in or by an author from Asia. And the 4 of Plants is a book set in or by an author from Africa, just to get some variety in there and make sure I'm not only reading books from North America, which I read a majority of because that's where I'm from. Next we have the cards for the elementals, and as you can probably guess, those have to do with the 4 elements. So if I pull the elemental card, this is a book with fire on the cover or in the title. The 2 of elementals is air on the cover in the title, which is probably super easy to find a book with air on the cover. Or maybe not easy, because it's not really something you can see. I don't know, we'll see whenever I get that card. The 3 of elementals is water on the cover or in the title, and the 4 of elementals is earth on the cover or in the title. Very self-explanatory on that one. And then we have the construct, which I have assigned prompts having to do with the publication date. So if I pull the construct, I have to pick a book published before the 2000s. The 2 of constructs is published from 2000 to 2009. The 3 of constructs is 2010 to 2019, and the 4 of constructs is a book published in 2020 or afterwards, so the most recent books. Then we have the cards for the Fae, and this is similar to elementals in that it has to do with things on the cover. If I pull the Fae, this is a person on the cover. The 2 of Fae is a land animal on the cover. Gremlin is doing something out there, so I apologize if you can hear that. The 3 of Fae is a fish or sea animal on the cover, and the 4 of Fae is a bird or other flying animal on the cover. Then we have the Celestial, which kind of has to do with space things. So for the Celestial card, it is a cosmic word in the title. The 2 of Celestials is stars or the moon on the cover. The 3 of Celestials is a book that's just generally set in space. And the 4 of Celestials is religious vibes, just because I feel like Celestials kind of have religious vibes, in my head at least. Then we have the set of humanoids, which has to do with age range of books. So if I pull the humanoid card, this is a children's or middle grade book. The 2 of humanoids is young adult, the 3 of humanoids is new adult, and the 4 of humanoids is adult, which I love the 4 of humanoids. I love how colorful these are, but like something about the black and white with the gold foiling is just stunning to me. So pretty self-explanatory there. And then we have the Fiend, which is one of the most intimidating sets, because they're all romance subgenres. So the Fiend itself is a smutty romance, the 2 of Fiends is paranormal romance, the 3 of Fiends is fantasy romance, and the 4 of Fiends is a queer romance. Then we come to the Giant, which has to do with page ranges. So the regular Giant card is between 1 and 200 pages. The 2 of Giants is 201 to 400 pages. The Three of Giants is between 401 and 600 pages, and if I pull the Four of Giants, I have to pick a book that is over 600 pages. And then we come to the last of the sets of cards, so that is the Monstrosity, and these are all subgenres of horror that I've picked. So if I pull the Monstrosity, that is like a body horror slasher kind of book. If I pull the Two of Monstrosities, that is a psychological horror book. The Three of Monstrosities is gothic horror, and the Four of Monstrosities is cosmic horror. Okay, next up we have the last pairing of cards, and that is the Wild Oracle, which is actually a class that was created by the people who made this deck, and when you buy the deck you get a link to a PDF of the class so that you can play it in a D&D game, which I think is so cool. But this is what the card looks like, and the prompts for the Wild Oracle are either a random number generator or a random letter generator. My cat has a piece of cardboard currently on the other side of the door, so that's what you're hearing, if you can even hear it. I don't know if it's going to pick it up, but I can hear it very loudly. But yeah, for the Wild Oracle, taking the choice completely out of my hands. Then there are 3 cards at the end of the deck that are not, like, from D&D or, like, fantasy worlds. So we have the Designer, which, actually this, like, it is the person who designed the cards. Like, I met her when I bought this deck, and this is what she looks like. But the prompt for this is a comp title for one of my projects. Then the developer, who I also met, this is a Chaos Queen pick, so, yo, my cats are so loud. So if I pull this card, one of the Chaos Queens get to pick a book for me. And then if I pull the final card, the Dungeon Mistress, that is a Mars pick, so I get to pick any book whatsoever. And we have finally made it through all 103 cards, 103 prompts. This has taken me so long to film because of interruptions from my cats, but made it through. And I feel like there are some prompts that are harder than others and some that are way easier, but overall I have like a very wide spread, and I think I've covered all my bases as far as prompts go, so I'm happy with it. Let me know down in the comments which prompts you would be excited if they came up. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys.